final grid elevation correction test, number 13, will use polylines as the location where we want to change our grid elevation. So in this case, let's go ahead and go back here to our big project. We have these channels, and I have taken a polyline and put it at the center of the invert of these channels. And so what we want to do is make a grid elevation correction so that we get kind of like the full depth of this channel, because you know, if you have an average grid on a 20 by 20 cell, that grid elevation is going to include some of the bank elevation data, so that's going to be skewed higher than the invert of this channel, so may block water from moving down your channel. So what we are going to do is we are going to use this elevation line to reset the elevation along these guys. Now we're going to use, oops, this can stay in here, but it needs to go to the bottom of the list. So this line buffer right here is just an example of how this tool works, where we create this automatic buffer around these lines, and we want that buffer to be approximately the width of the channel, or the thing that you know that you're correcting your elevation to. So it could be like approximately the grid element width or approximately the width of the channel. So let's see where we set that buffer attribute. See, we set that buffer attribute right here, and you can actually set the line width a little bit different. You do not need this line length, but you do need this buffer. And you can set it different for every line. So one could be 30 feet, one could be 40 feet, but you just need the buffer as a width that matches your map units. All right, so here's the tool. And what we have here is we change this to polyline layer, and this goes to elevation line, so just hit E and enter. This goes to buffer, and this goes to grids within, or sorry, excuse me, centroids within the polygons. Now the polygons will be the buffer that's going to be generated. It'll be a 30 by 30 buffer. You won't see it, that's why I put this line buffer here. Now this is going to go to statistics within polygons. This will be a min, and this will go to from raster layer and statistics per cell, and we don't need to use only selected features, we can just use everything. Now we click OK, and what has happened is that our elevation has been minimized. So let me zoom in here a little bit. Our elevation has been reset to the minimum of that channel. And it's kind of hard to see that, but let's turn this guy off, and let's turn this render elevation on. And I don't know, the easiest way to tell that this worked might be let's recalculate the elevation one more time. And then we'll let's just do this. Okay, so yeah, it's kind of hard to see that this happened, but maybe pay attention to these colors and maybe they'll just get a little darker, or yeah, a little darker blue is what we hope to see. So we'll run the tool again, polyline, elevation lines, buffer ID, centroids within polygons, statistics, min, raster, and OK. And then we click OK again, and let's just turn this off and back on and see. Yeah, I guess you see a little bit of a change like right in here. Honestly, kind of hard to tell that this one worked because it's not going to be much of a change. Let's see what the book says, or let's see what the document says. So it says, oh, here we go. It looks like it's actually testing it like this. So let's zoom in on this. And let's put that to like 200. So this started out at 1358.8 and went to 1358.09. This one stayed the same because its centroid is not within the buffer. This one has a centroid with the buffer. It went from 1359.18 to 1358.21. This one went from 1358.77 to 1358.03. So it is making a correction, and you can go and review your correction with using the ID tool or the grid elevation tool. But that'll be the end of the video because we don't want to waste a bunch of time showing you how to do that.